Rumors have it that Halo Studios is looking to not only remake Halo Combat Evolved, but also the other two entries of the original Halo trilogy. Is that a good idea? What should be fixed? We'll discuss all that and more in today's video. Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. First of all, have you checked out our recent War of the Worlds video? You should. Second of all, today's video is sponsored, sort of, by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid came to me with a really good offer. Expand the Ekpire, make a Raid channel, and I knew Charlie was just the kind of degenerate mobile game player to do so. And I mean, this came at just the perfect time. Right now, YouTube is tough. This channel helps secure basically everything in our operations, keep our employees. Well, over here, the content doesn't change a lick. Don't like Raid? The content's on a separate channel. But I will say, Charlie's gotten addicted. I'm getting addicted. Right now, the videos which are coming out daily are geared towards newer players. And yeah, this is something we're going to test out. Hopefully it does well, because it means this channel can keep doing what we're doing. Well, we also just have new sources of content. Now, this isn't a proper sponsored video, but if you are interested in the channel, I'll include a link down in the description, as well as the promo code if you want to start the game. But let's get on with the content. And speaking of games, although we are going to talk about Halo mostly for this video, I've been really into the new extraction shooter Arc Raiders, and I'm kind of just trying to test the water whether you guys are curious in a longer form lore video all about the world. It's sort of a weird cross between Fallout and Horizon Zero Dawn, but again, let me know your thoughts. All right, so a fairly big Twitter account, Halo Leaks, tweeted, Halo 2 and 3 are being remade. Yes, they will have sprint. No multiplayer, only campaign, full remakes. Multiplayer is going to be Halo 7. Now, I'm not going to get into a full analysis of this guy's credibility. I most know him for Halo Infinite time when he'd have leaks about what was coming in the shop or upcoming game modes or whatever else. Determine credibility on your own. I more just want to discuss whether this is even a good idea. As you guys know, given that Halos 1 through 3 are preserved in pretty good states, I'm actually not against the idea of remakes generally. Yeah, I've got problems with how Halo Campaign Evolved seems to be implementing certain design choices and features, but the idea of a remake in and of itself is not bad. These are masterpiece games. The trilogy itself, in my opinion, is one of the best gaming trilogies of all time, but that doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. We saw a really good example of this with Halo 2 Anniversary. Halo 2 is, in my opinion, by far the ugliest game of the original trilogy, and while I do think there are some issues with, again, just like in the remake of Halo CE, how some of the Forerunner stuff was transferred to the new graphics, overall, I do not spend at least most of my time playing Halo 2 on its original graphics. Obviously, this is a different situation than a complete remake, but you can contrast that with Halo CE Anniversary, where the only reason I'd go back to the original graphics is to see how badly they messed everything up. And you know, as these games have been around for so long, and I do develop, I guess, a bit of cynicism about the gaming industry, that has become sort of my litmus test for whether a remake should be made. Originally, it was, will this remake supplant the original? Once the Halo CE remake comes out, will I want to play Halo CE? That's a good test. But I think it's also a bit too limiting, where some remakes drastically change what a game plays like or looks like, and the two can thus exist on their own, like with Final Fantasy VII. So I think a better test is, in 10 years, will fans of the Halo franchise have a reason to play these games at least? And I think there's a potential yes. One argument is cohesion, and I don't really like this when it comes to Halo CE. That game is just so different than the rest of the franchise, and I think that's part of the charm, but Halos 2 and 3 really do feel like, if not story-wise, at least gameplay-wise and setting-wise, like a cohesive experience. If in a remake they wanted to make them feel more like two parts of a bigger whole, I would be cool with that. And both games also have some serious structural issues which could be improved. These were mostly due to the realities of game development and losing out on time. In Halo 3, for example, Cortana, one of the final levels of the game, I think the second to final level, it's just a dreadful, completely boring, dreary mission. It's supposed to be, I guess, a mix of the library and keys, but for Halo 3, and Bungie has admitted that they completely ran out of time. The original vision of the level was lost, and we get Master Chief scampering through High Charity. It's awful. A remake of Halo 3 could improve on that. I think there is lots of cut content envisioned for the game, and even new enemy types, encounters, perhaps even entire missions. There's also just little things in Halo Campaign Evolved. There's too many CEs. I don't love the title. We got Campaign Evolved, Combat Evolved, and Custom Edition. But, for example, they added the Legolo worms when hunters die. That's a cool little detail. So broadly, the idea of a remake, I don't find it awful. There are good things you could do. The question is, in a world constrained by time and money, is that what Halo Studios should be doing? There's an argument that all this work with Unreal Engine is preparing them for their next Halo game. You know, you've got a proven formula that works. Let's see how you can make it look pretty. And there is an argument there, and I certainly would be excited to play through these games with a fresh lens at least one more time. But we're talking 2 entire remakes. That is a lot of development time. Halo Studios, especially after how things have been going for the past 10 years, does not have infinite personnel nor infinite resources. Halo 2 visually does not need a remake. I think Anniversary does a great job, especially the redone cutscenes. And honestly, Halo 3 is so technically good that even though some of the textures and whatnot are dated, the lighting engine, the physics, it all keeps it feeling very fresh. You look under the hood, and Vengel Vadame did a really good job in a video I'm going to link down below from someone who knows a lot of the sort of really technical and minor details of how Halo runs, pointing out that, yes, as rumors stated, the gameplay is basically running off a modified version of the Reach engine. And honestly, I just don't think that Halo 3 in particular is old enough to warrant a fresh coat of paint when it still looks pretty damn good. So when we're talking opportunity cost, again, while I would be excited, I'd rather Halo Studios focus on the future of Halo. Even if this does happen, I also do need to go against the grain here. A lot of people have said the remakes without multiplayer, they're pointless. I disagree there. Yes, Halo 2 and 3's multiplayer, phenomenal. No one's questioning that. But if the multiplayer were to release with these remakes, that's not what it would be. It would be just like Halo 2 Anniversaries, something different. I was actually pretty damn good at Halo 2A's multiplayer, but it's not Halo 2. And if they released multiplayer for Halo Custom Edition, it would feel like Halo Reach with tweaked settings. When it comes to Halo 3 especially, I'd rather just play the original. It also makes sense that Halo Studios will want what I believe they will call Halo 7 to be the hub for things moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised if within the game you'd have links to the Halo CE remake, maybe even MCC. This is what they wanted with Halo Infinite. The problem was that Halo Infinite was so far behind the 8 ball because of a really tough development schedule that they never caught up. By the time they were ready to make new shit, the player base had basically dipped. However, I do think the launch was promising, so my guess is that with Halo 7, they're going to want to launch it in a good feature-complete state where they can start focusing on updates and probably some big multiplayer experience. We know they were working on Project Tatanka, probably a battle royale or something similar, but that was dropped. I imagine they want Halo 7, which I assume will launch multiplayer first, to grab a population, get constantly updated, and also introduce some big mode. If that is their strategy, and I think we're going to get something maybe next year, probably the year after that, working on all these campaign modes means that Halo 7 is not going to get a proper campaign/story mode for a very long time. I do think the realities of modern gaming have told 343 or Halo Studios that launching without a campaign is okay because it doesn't hold players long-term anyway. But with 2 other remakes to get through, we're talking maybe years afterwards because, and I'm just spitballing here, I don't think the team is big enough to handle all this at once. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down below, and thanks again for supporting me during all these times. I'll see you later. Bye.